Howdy. Thanks for joining me on this talk. It's been kind of a hectic week. A lot going on. My father just showed up to help me work on the cabin. So I'll probably be taking a break, the next couple weeks from videos. My dad's here. My mother and my brother are going to be up in a couple weeks to hang out. So, I'm just going to toss out this one video and I'll be back at it eventually. This is a fun one. So this video is called Power of Truth. It's kind of like all I like to talk about is truth a lot of times. I like to say that the truth is belligerent. Truth does not care how you feel about it. The truth is and will always be. No matter how offended people are by the truth, it will stand the test of time. Trends, technologies, tyrants come and go, but the truth is always present throughout all ages. The truth is the underlying structure of all creation. So what is it? What is the ultimate truth? Kind of seems like everybody's got their own truth in this age. So what is the ultimate truth beyond all this? This is a fun question. What is the final truth? I'll take you on my thought experiment with this question of some unseen ultimate truth. The truth is unique to all creation. Each individual viewpoint has its own story or truth to tell. What's true for an ant is not true for a fish. What's true for a chipmunk is not true for a crow. Animals all experience unique lives filled with different truths. Pretty obvious. It's true for a crow that he can fly around. It's not true for a chipmunk that he can fly. So these animals are all living different realities, different truths. They all have their own individual truths, is what I'm trying to say. What's true for a Wall Street banker is not true for a South American coffee farmer. They're leading totally different lives, different truths. What's true to a policeman is not true for a cartel member. Even though they're both just gangs that use violence to get by in the realm, they still live entirely different truths within, even though their outside actions are about the same. What is true to a Muslim is not true to an atheist. Anybody who believes in any creator or anything, it's not true for an atheist, right? What's true for a plumber in America is not even true for a plumber in France. Even if you have the same job, you're going to have a different truth based off your environment that you're in. Endless examples of us all living different truths day in and day out. So my argument is that all truth is subjective, according to the individual experiencing it. There's no such thing as a collective truth. There can't be, because we are all different. So we couldn't all be living the same truth. I'm going to get deeper into this concept. The truth is only available in this current moment. Past and future truths don't count for anything except for examples in the present moment. When you talk about individual experience of truth, you have to factor in bias and memory as well. Too many people are biased or bought off. And a lot of people have bad memories. There's a lot of people drinking fluoride from their tap water, just erasing their memories. A lot of people go to the bar, get the Al Ghul spirit, the body-eating spirit, the booze. They drink their booze and their memory's like gone, right? Like a lot of people are drinking to erase bad memories and stuff. So when it comes to truth, like how could you really rely on a general truth when like you see like half the population just like erasing their memories every week because they're in pain or something, and then when it comes to memory, I feel like I know that the Wi-Fi signals, the cell towers, all that crap, the radar signals, you have an antenna in your car picking up AM, FM, like all of these invisible frequencies fuck with our memory, screw with our mind as well. So this is an age where it's hard to have a universal truth because people just have so many diverse lives and just so many things under like attack. Like your thoughts are under attack, your memory is constantly under attack. So it's just this idea of a universal truth is kind of silly. The idea of an ultimate truth that is beyond our current experience or current perception is dumb and dangerous. In other words, keep it simple, stupid. I reckon most of the, if not all the problems we face in this age are because we've made things complicated so we could be lazier, let machines do stuff. It's keep it simple, stupid. Like, the simpler I make my life, the more I love it and enjoy it, and things seem to flow, and it's about a simplification to me. Like, there really aren't as many problems when things are simple in your life. You go out to your well, you grab the water, you're gonna have gardens. You're just doing what we've always done here. Live and let live. So that's my my take, is we're just not simple anymore. Things are just complex, and people make it so complex they screw themselves over. And I don't. I'll get deeper into it. Why must we fantasize about invisible beings and places we cannot see, smell, touch, or hear? Why not focus on what's right in front of you? Why don't we focus on what's right in front of us? Being simple. So we fantasize about invisible beings and places we cannot see, smell, touch, or hear simply because we can. It's like a mind game that we have when we fantasize and try to we make something up. Like, you ever seen a movie? You ever enjoyed it? It's all made up. None of it was real. It was a story. And the story, while you're watching it, it grabbed you and it felt real, didn't it? Sometimes you need an escape from what's right in front of you, right? So there is a reason we make things up and we don't follow the simple truths. There is a purpose for distractions. There's a reason we need them. Distractions are a good thing when taken in moderation. It's just the trouble in this age is there's no moderations of the distractions or the fantasies in our lives. Distractions and fantasy have become front and center in our age. Reality, or what is happening in front of you at this moment, It's not important as some collective fantasy that we're all being taught by the television. Endless stories made up to keep the herd in a constant state of fear mixed with madness. Unable to realize the entire structure of reality they've been given is a Hollywood fantasy built for total psychological domination. Their entire lives, they've been exploited by the ruling class, and their reality has been created for them, not by them. Basically, the archons, or the rulers, have tricked the blind, deaf, and dumb to build their slave society for them. Now, this is where I go to my personal truth. I see this information as true. What I just said, I see it as true, and it gives me power because I know the dynamic in the realm and what is true, what actually is manifesting in front of us all. I figure most people can't stomach, that they've been psychologically dominated and manipulated their whole life. They were never ready for this age. Simply put, I don't think any of us have time, for people who are too weak to deal with these things. It's just that it's far gone. All the weak people have joined with the rulers in their rebellion, against a unified world. They're too cowardly. It's like they don't have enough love. They only have a small capacity for only loving their family and maybe their party, but they don't have enough love for everyone. So it just seems like they were not ready for this age, and all I can do is keep moving forward into my individual truth. I can't try to drag people along that literally cannot see what they've created. It's and I know, I don't know if this will make sense to some people. Other people are gonna be like, man, this dude is so nuts. So I talk a lot about being a creator, and I care a lot about my creations here. I want to create something wise, loving, and beautiful while I'm here. So I'm confident that nature, the creators, whatever you want to call it, they're fully aware of what is happening. They never left us for 1 second. And they know my heart better than I do. They set me off on this mission of love. So our cosmic parents are always here. They just don't force us to see them. They give you a choice to engage with them or not. They don't seek attention. I assume they just want us to be happy and fulfill our dreams in the dream realm. We cannot grasp the unconditional love and mercy our creators have for us. They love us so much, they've allowed us to burn down the house we were given, metaphorically speaking. So this all ties in. In conclusion, power of truth is in the individual who is co-creating this reality with their divine parents all day, every day. Very simple. Very simple. This is not an invisible anything. You know in your heart what you're creating. You don't need to trust anyone either. When you come to individual truths, trust is not in, you never needed trust. That's another point I'm trying to make in this video of how trust is actually a sign of deception. Because I think we should all have our own individual experiences, and then based off those experiences, we all come to our own personal truths. So if we all came to our own personal truths, there would be no general trust. Because I wouldn't need to trust you. You would need to trust me because that's not even a concept. You've experienced enough to where you don't have to trust anybody. Like, things are that simple. I'm trying to say, like, in a simplified lifestyle, there's no need for trust. There shouldn't be, because everybody is an individual, and it's apparent by their actions, whether you want them around or not. It's not this idea that we all just need to randomly trust the person with the badge or the person in the suit. My conclusion is that when somebody asks you to trust them, I've said this in other videos, they are deceiving you. And if you get deep enough into this idea, you'll see what I'm saying. Like, how there shouldn't be trust in this place. It shouldn't be a concept unless we're going to lie to each other. Unless we are going to deceive each other, then trust will manifest. And you'll have all these people asking you to trust them. Instead of the world I'm trying to create now, don't trust anything I have to say. Go out and experience stuff and see how it works for you. I don't want, anything but for everybody to be free and experience what they need to. I think that's a part of this too. You're going to experience what you need to, whether you like it or not. So you might as well grab this life by the reins and work with your divine parents on this project of what you are and what all this is. You have a direct connection with the divine if you choose to walk that path. But it's a personal, individual truth that only you can have. And then I always like to do the flip side. On the flip side, the power of deception is used on large groups of people who do not know the power they could have in the individual truths. To them, power is only an external, material force. They don't know who they are, why they're here, and frankly, they don't care enough about those questions to take the correct actions in life. To them, the truth is ignorance is bliss. Eat, sleep, fuck, repeat. They could give a damn about what's going on deep inside of them. As long as the outside image fools everyone and themselves. Like, the outside image has to fool you, too, into thinking you're happy. It's not, to these people, it doesn't matter what's going on inside them. It's always the outer. That proves to them they're happy. That proves to them everybody else is happy. Who knows what's going on the inside, right? I could imagine, but I don't even want to. They willingly live life blindfolded. And if the blindfold were to ever come off, they couldn't handle the truth of what they have blindly co-created with their earthly masters. So it is I threw out a lot of crazy concepts, a lot of things to think about, but I kind of wanted all to wrap up in this idea of a co-creator, and how I've said it before, you're creating whether you like it or not, whether you think you're creating or not. If you are breathing, if you are here, you're creating all these things around you. It doesn't matter if you want to create. It doesn't matter if you want to be lazy. You always have the free will choice to create here, regardless of whatever consequence you think. And it's this idea that you either pick up your responsibility of what you are as an immortal creator, or you take somebody else's story. You take the world's story and run with the story they told you. You deny your own truth, your own personal experience right in front of you, and you allow somebody else to literally create your experiences in life, gatekeep you from experiences too. I mean, that's really what I see in a lot of people and why I'm so different. They were too afraid to go out and try a new thing, or to look like a fool, or to make the mistake. I just... It's something about living a life, okay, you're okay with looking like a whatever, you're okay with making mistakes, as long as you can make amends, as long as you can atone for your mistake that you've made, and have the mistake happen, recognize it and correct it and move on. You know, I feel like that's what our creators have done. Like, they're making mistakes and they're just fixing it and moving on and moving on. But there's something else happening here, to where people make a mistake, and instead of admitting they did something wrong, they just blind themselves to the mistakes, so they never have to deal with it. And so I talk about people blinding themselves for their entire life, because they have taken on the story, the truth of the world, versus the truth that they have and the power they have. So while on the outside of my life it may look chaotic or whatever, it's no concern to me how things appear. Deep within myself, I have found the treasure I have been seeking my whole life. Nobody can convince me otherwise. I mean, doesn't that sound kind of powerful to you? That you have found a place within you that has answers that nobody else here has. That you can't, that there's no, I don't feel like I could trust anybody else but myself with my body and what I'm doing here. Like, it's like all these things are that important to me that only I should be the one that makes the decisions for myself. This is my personal inner truth. Nobody can see it, touch it, smell it. You can hear it when I talk about it, but you really can't hear what goes on in me. Truth has always and will always be an individual pursuit. In a world of individual truth, trust would be unnecessary. It's a lot to take in. I'm really like, what I'm talking about here, it's like I'm just coming up with an idea. You know, I still need to live this idea out that I'm talking about here. I feel like I have, to a certain extent. I just haven't really, I don't know if I explained it the best, but I think you can kind of pick up on what I'm putting down. And basically how, when it comes to power of truth, it's only through an individual. And there is no collective power of truth. There's only collective power of deception of each other. And I just would encourage everybody to be more individually minded, right? And find your own personal truths, and then grab that truth, find another one, keep climbing, keep going. Forget all these people that think that they can just get the truth from the television or something. Like, it's all very self-evident and apparent. I feel like a lot of these things I talk about, it's like, you think there's some collective truth, some book. Everybody just gets handed the book and then they all read it and they all, oh, that's the truth, right? Like, and you really think you earned the truth by living that way or thinking that way. I was just talking to my dad earlier about work and how, you know, if you don't work for something, you don't feel like you've earned it. There's just something about, like, my dad is like such a hard worker in life, you know, a little too hard sometimes. But you don't get the satisfaction that you created something. You know, So when you build yourself, and you put out the effort to find truth, it just makes sense to me that, yeah, you would get the truth because you experienced it. You went against the grain. You went through it. Like, you put out effort about something you cared about and you found it out. Okay? Whereas I don't, even as a child, it's just they're telling me all this stuff. They're trying to fill my head full of all these people to follow and listen to. It never seemed true to me. And it never seemed like I had earned it, right? Like, I felt like, no, I need to, like, discover this place. Like, it's why I have my body, it's why I have a mind, is because I'm here to discover things, right? I'm not here to just be told a story and fulfill somebody else's false story they want. I'm here to have my own story, and I make it up, right? And I just think that's the power of truth. You get to make your own life when you have that power. And I guarantee you can think of people that don't have that power to create their own life. You see them on the television even. They're sort of trapped. They got to fulfill their duty. Like Bob Dylan, and his whole, he sold his soul to the chief of this world, and he's fulfilling his end of the bargain. So a lot of these famous people that you're supposed to look up to, they don't even author their own lives. They don't even have the freedom to decide how their lives go, and they're put up as some idol for you to worship and to focus on their stupid story and think that they got some great story, and it's all just meant for you to, like, think your story sucks or your truth sucks. So it's just, I say all this to encourage you to, like, make a fun story. Find your own truths. Find something crazy that nobody else has found. But I'm going dark for a couple weeks because I'll be working on the cabin, getting stuff done. And I'll be back with more crazy talks. So I love you all. Enjoy.